Today we're going to look at all the new cards coming out of MTG Foundations. It's supposed to be a new foundation for Standard, but you know what? It can be a foundation for any format. Starting off with the Curator of Destinies. This is a blue 4 generic Sphinx. Them Sphinxes, they always cost like 6 or more mana. Is there a 1 mana Sphinx? Never seen it before. Now, this Sphinx can't be countered. It's got flying, and when this creature enters the battlefield, I'm sorry, it's just a force of habit. When it enters, look at the top 5 cards of your library and separate them into a face-down pile and a face-up pile. An opponent chooses one of those piles. Put that pile into your hand and the other into your graveyard. Wow! You know, I think the graveyard thing almost sells it. So one way or another, you're either going to be fueling your graveyard or you're going to be fueling your hand. I mean, both are actually going to happen. I mean, if you're using a graveyard-based deck, you may not even care which pile goes where. I use a little bit of bluffing action. Now, is it good? You know, when I look at like 6 mana uncountable creatures, I usually think this is good in like a control mirror where you're passing the turn. Each player has counter spells, and then, you know, you get to 6 mana and bam, you can slam this thing down and force your opponent to have removal. If they don't, they're going to have to tap out on their turn for a sweeper in order to deal with this thing, which then gives you the upper hand to like play a planeswalker or something because their shields are going to be down. I think this card's okay. I don't know if it's going to be great. I mean, even if they kill it, you're up. You got cards out of this. 5 cards face down, 1 pile's face up, 1 pile's face down. I think that's great value. All right, next up, let's take a look at... Okay, old boy says you're scared of Bloodthirsty Conqueror. And the Conqueror. Okay, it's another 5 mana card. Oh yeah, I thought this is like, I don't know, Suspicious Baneslayer Angel. It's a 5 mana 5/5 Vampire Knight with flying and death touch, and whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. So they've put, was it Sanguine Blood? Is that what it's called? No. I remember there's an enchantment that does this, isn't it? I swear there's an enchantment that Exquisite Blood. Exquisite Blood on a vampire. That's great. Whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. Hey, it's better than whenever your opponent loses life, they lose that much more life. Because that can be like a combo with that damn creature that makes people lose half their life. I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with this. 5 mana these days is like an eternity. Whenever an opponent loses, isn't that just lifelink? It's basically lifelink, but for other sources. It's fancy upgraded lifelink, but it's still lifelink. Remember, damage does cause the loss of life, but you're in black, for crying out loud. I mean, I guess you can Earthquake, you could play Rakdos, then Earthquake. Doesn't deal damage to your Bloodthirsty Conqueror. It deals damage to your opponents, but you're going to gain that much life back anyway. Oh, whenever an opponent loses life. That's interesting. So if I Earthquake and deal damage to everybody, I'm going to gain, like, what, triple the life? If I understand this correctly? Jess says, wow, daylight savings really affect you guys out east. We're doing a night show right now. No, daylight savings has not affected us that badly. It's only because I just came back. I just came back from all my plane trips. I've been up since, I don't know, 5 o'clock in the morning. So we got to do Nikachu at night. I was flying at the time that we were doing this show. First super chat of the day from Pabna. Oh, and before we get to the super chat, I think this card is quite... It's a banger. It's bussin'. I don't think it's overpowered. I wouldn't be scared. I wouldn't be scared. It's a fleshy creature anyway. What is it? Exquisite Blood. That's harder. I think that's harder to destroy. Okay, Pabno, what do you got for us, Pabno? You've got Mossborn Hydra. Consistent but jank. 3 turn kills in Modern Hero. Here we go. That's right. Well, that's not the here we go sound effect, but I guess that's because I don't have one. 3 mana for a 0/0 Elemental Hydra with Trample. This creature enters with a +1/+1 counter on it. And Landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, double the number of +1/+1 counters on this creature. Oh, they brought with the reminder text back. These days, they don't have reminder text for the most niche, obscure mechanics, but trample. Yeah, that's right. We need to re-explain what trample means in this day and age. I guess this is the start. Hey, it's the foundation. We're setting a foundation for all the new people that are going to be flooding into the game because of all these new Universes Beyond cards and so on. All right, next up, well, let's take a look at Luis with Blasphemous Edict. Hold on. Did I even look at? Hold on. I didn't even read this whole card. I'm gonna drink my tea. I gotta drink my tea. We gotta be hydrated over here. Okay, the creature enters with a +1/+1 counter on it. That's it? Just one counter. Okay. Oh, well, otherwise it would be dead. Okay, I've... now I understand why. Poor Mossborn Hydra. It better come into play with a counter or it's gone. It's a goner. Landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, double the number of +1/+1 counters on this creature. That's impressive. So it's for the landfall community out there. So you play your Mossborn Hydra, play a fetch land. We go to 2, crack your fetch land. We're already at 4. This thing gets out of hand really, really quickly, and it's trample. What's the point of having a big, huge creature if you can't even deal damage with the damn thing? I think the card looks really strong, solid. Little MX Doom with the Heir Apparent. It's interesting. For the first 35 years of this game, 3 rabbits. And in the last, what, like 2 years? Maybe not even 2 years. Last, like, half a year, there's like 1 million rabbits in this game. Okay, we got the 2-mana 2/2 Rabbit Noble. When this creature enters, create a number of 1/1 white rabbit creature tokens equal to the number of other creatures you control named Heir Apparent. A deck can have any number of cards named Heir Apparent. Oh, yes. They multiplied like rabbits. Do you get it? Do you get it? It's a very simple joke. Equal to the number of other creatures you control. Unfortunately, it's only other, so we need a second Heir Apparent onto the battlefield. The first one does nothing, right? ETB, create a number of 1/1 white rabbit creature tokens equal to the number of other creatures you control named Heir Apparent. For that, I actually think this card's not very good. I don't think this card's going to be very good. If you even have 2 Heir Apparents in play, you get 1 token. I don't think that scales very well. I think this card might sort of work if you can get like a lot of tokens in play to be clones of Heir Apparents. Maybe not. I'm not entirely sure. Rabbits do multiply quickly. Well, eventually. I guess if you give the Heir Apparents enough time, yes, they're going to multiply like rabbits, as is the name, of course. Okay, next card. Let's take a look at... Yeah, it's the new rats. Well, I don't know if the old rats were any good. You creating token copies would go nuts. Yeah, too slow even for Pauper. Oh yeah, it's a Pauper legal card. Uncommon. I don't think this is that good. I think it's slow and clunky. It's more cute than anything else. Okay, Lewis with Blasphemous Edict. Also, Hamad also with Blasphemous Edict. Blasphemous Edict. We got 2. Okay, it's a black, 3 generic sorcery. You may pay black rather than pay this spell's mana cost if there are 13 or more creatures on the battlefield. You can pay black rather than pay the spell's mana. But you need the 13. It's not like Blasphemous Act where it costs 1 less. So it's like it's 1 or 5. Each player sacrifices 13 creatures of their choice. It's basically a board wipe. So it's a board wipe for 5, or if there are enough damn things on the battlefield, it can be a board wipe for 1. It's interesting. I mean, it has to be good. I'm not going to say that this isn't good. This has to be good, especially in Commander. Good question is if this would break into competitive play. Now, 5 mana for a sweeper, not unheard of. It's not crazy. I just don't know how often one side is going to have 13 creatures on the board, even for competitive play. 13 creatures, that's a lot of creatures, unless it's like a weird combo deck that makes a lot of creatures and then passes the turn. But outside of that, I don't really see it happening. It'd be a little bit better also if this type was the type of card that it would be best if you could somehow play creatures to enable it, but then it didn't affect you, but it will affect you. I don't know how you can save your sacrificed creatures. So anyway, I do think it's still a good card one way or another. In Commander, it counts everyone's field. Yes, in Commander, it's going to count everyone's field. So let's break out Nikachu's calculator. 13 divided by 4 should be 4.5. No, 3.5. Sorry, 3.25. Okay, well, that's math for you. That's why I break out Nikachu's calculator. Nikachu can't do the math in his head. Yes, okay. So in a commander game, you only need 3.25 creatures per player. Oh, I was thinking per opponent, assuming I don't want to sack my own creatures. Why of their choice? Sacrificing is always a choice unless stated otherwise. Each player sacrifices 13 creatures of their choice. You know, maybe they're just dumbing it down now. That's a really good point. They're adding, it's funny, in Magic, we don't even say enters the battlefield anymore. We're like reducing the words on the card. And now here, we're adding words to the card. I guess if it wasn't clear, maybe a lot of people, their marketing, Wizards of the Coast marketing said, like, when an opponent's card tells you to sacrifice, it makes them think that the person they are choosing what gets sacrificed. That I could see that happening. Like, whenever you play Doomblade, the person casting the Doomblade decides what dies, right? Same thing could be considered with Blasphemous Edict. I cast this thing. Maybe I'm the one who decides to choose the 13 creatures. Maybe if one player has more than 13. Well, of course, it will only apply to someone who has more than 14. Roundwave Crusher loves this card. Huge 2 thumbs up for Blasphemous Edict. It's probably going to be a pretty popular staple. Instant commander staple for anyone of your choice would make more sense and make this very slightly better. Each player sacrifices 13 creatures of their choice. Oh, of your choice would make this more... Of course, yeah, it's funny. Of your choice would make more sense and make this very slightly better. Well, not really. It doesn't make more sense, but it will make it very slightly better because it is we are under the assumption that once I cast this, all your creatures are getting sacrificed, all of them. Okay, let's take a look at Christopher B's Inspiring Paladin. Inspiring Paladin is a 3-mana 3/3 human knight. During your turn, this creature has first strike. That is weird. During your turn, creatures you control with +1/+1 counters on them have first strike. So when we're defending, we suck. But when we're on the attack, we've got the Inspiring Paladin. They attack, but no protect. But when it's my turn, we fight back. I don't know. I'm just trying to improvise something over here. It seems like a new type of mechanic. I don't know how useful this is, though. A 3-mana 3/3 first striker. Creatures we control with +1/+1 counters also have first strike. Does not give said counters. I don't think so. I think this is nonsense. Some assembly required, as I would say. All right, next super chat. Let's take a look at John. I'm most excited for the Twin Flame Tyrant. Twin Flame Tyrant is a 5-mana 3/5 dragon. If a source you control would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals double that damage instead. Why is this? Okay, so this is very similar to the lose life card, right? Whenever someone loses life, you gain that much life. So it's not technically double strike. Now it's just whatever you do to deal damage. And the red players, they love this stuff. All right, their soul is going to be given to the Twin Flame Tyrant. Because the thing is, with red, you can only deal so much damage, so you depend on doubling, tripling, quadrupling the amount of damage through cards like this. So this is definitely going to be an absolute instant banger. Teodoro agrees. You love the flavor text? Okay, job only paid enough for one head. I'm out. Perrin, veteran mercenary. Oh, there's 2 heads on here. It's a 2-headed dragon, except it's not called 2-headed dragon. It goes in a Zerolin deck where you can tutor dragons at instant speed. Well, I mean, you could do... I mean, I guess so. That also works. It can go in a dragon deck. It can also go in a burn deck. My brain went to burn. I totally forgot. Hey, this is a dragon. You know, you dragon players, you're going to run out of room in your 99, all right? I'm warning you. There's going to be more dragons you could possibly squeeze in there. You're going to have to make some cuts. Make some room for that Twin Flame Tyrant and future creatures. Okay, next up, let's take a look at Just a Random Mage with Archmage of Runes. Sounds like a card that already exists. But it isn't. This is the 5-mana 3/6 Giant Wizard. It is your wizard, Harry, and your giant. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. That is just weird to have on a 5-mana card. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, draw a card. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, okay. That went from 0 to 100 pretty quickly. He's so intent on his studies that others think him frozen in place. I want to say this is like a storm player's dream, but it's still like 5 mana. Like, it's not cheap. I guess you could ritual it out or something like that. Whenever you counter something, replace that counter spell. Absolutely. I don't know if they'd really... yeah, I guess they could still use it like that. The way I look at it is like you can play cantrips into cantrips. Like every cantrip draws 2 cards. They basically turn everything almost into an Ancestral Recall. Very, very strong card. You know, there's a lot of cards out there, like Thoughtcast, for example. 1 blue, draw 2. And now it actually draws 3. I think that's pretty insane. More like a Commander Durdler's dream instead of competitive Storm. So this is like one of these cards. It could be incredibly good, or maybe it's just garbage because it's just still 5 mana. 5 mana is a lot of mana. And on top of that, usually when you get to 5 mana, you want it to already have some immediate effect on the game, like that dragon, for example. So the dragon, you play this on the battlefield, you attack with your other dragons. You're not smacking in for 2 damage, you get in for 4. That's how it works around here. Archmage of Runes, you tap out for this, you got a 3/6 bump on the log. Only your instant and sorcery spells that cost like 1 generic mana, I guess, are free now. How many 1 generic mana instant and sorceries exist in this game? Probably not a lot. So anyway, maybe the payoff is enormous. Like, what can I say? The payoff is insane. It could be like one of the strongest cards in the set. I'm going to lean that it's jank. All right, 5 mana is a lot of mana. Okay, next up, we've got Little MX Doom with Delightful Discovery. How delightful. Are we counting jump starts? Jumpstart foundations? I guess that counts if it's a new card. Is it also going to be standard? Like, where is this legal? Okay, it's a 5 mana instant. The spell costs 1 less to cast for each spell your opponents have cast this turn. Oh, that's interesting. Scry 2, then draw 2 cards. What do you think? New class pet? So, I do think it's crap. I think, okay, so in competitive one-on-one, this is not going to be good. In Commander, it's probably fine, but you still need to have some player at the table having a lot of interaction. Like they played a creature, then someone else cast something. You really want to get to play this for 1 mana. I would be hesitant to believe that you're in a good spot if 4 spells are being cast on the stack. If people are going to war over who's going to die this turn in a combo flurry, maybe 1 blue, draw 2 is not very strong in this moment, in this situation. Anyway, that's the way I'm looking at this. When it's cheap, probably it danger. It danger big time, but I could be wrong. Worth noting, it is a storm. Your spell costs for each spell your opponents have cast this turn. For your, like, if your opponent is playing storm, I guess, yeah, you could draw 2 cards off of this, but still, not a good spot to be in. Not a good spot to be in. Okay, Arethusa with preposterous proportions. Holy moly! I like this. I like the art. This is from, what's it called? What's that movie called? Madagascar? Is that what it is? This is King Julian. Sorry, King Julian. Okay, 7 mana for a sorcery. Creatures you control get +10/+10. What the hell? Oh, and they gain vigilance until end of turn. I think you mean giant lemurs, a type of malevolent spirit that... Oh god, what's that? It's the lemurs. This is the regular version is big squirrels. Decent card, though. You know what? Not really. Is it really that decent? It's 7 mana for not unblockable damage. If it gave them Vigilance and Menace, then maybe I could get behind this card. You don't like the lemur version? The lemur version is the best version. What other versions are there? Oh, there's a squirrel version, too. They're all bangers. Okay, the squirrel version is very cute as well. Same damn thing. Not sure why, I don't understand the vigilance part. Yeah, I agree, Mike. It is, like, infinitely more important that your creatures have trample than vigilance. Like, you're going for the kill, all right? We're out for blood. But it's going to be really important. It's going to be really hard if we get our stuff chump blocked one way or another. Like, even if I have a lot of creatures, I still don't want to risk anything to chance. If my opponent has a lot of creatures, like a lot of tokens, they're just going to chump block everything. So I actually think this card is a bit of a miss. Hit or miss? This card misses. All right, Steve Cooper, what do you got for us today? Near div. Whatever that is. Near div. Devious Diver. Holy moly! What a very Yu-Gi-Oh! Waifu. And donate to chat. Super Yu-Gi-Oh! Waifu. It's beautiful. Okay, it's a merfolk. Oh my goodness. Falling in level already. Okay, it better be good. It's a 3-mat. No one's DM'd me about this card, so I assume this card is garbage. Otherwise, I would probably get like message all over the place about near div. So I'm assuming this card's not very good. 3 mana for a 2/2 Merfolk Rogue. When it becomes tapped, target player mills cards equal to its power. That is terrible. Whenever you cast a spell from your graveyard or activate an ability of a card in your graveyard, draw a card and put a +1/+1 counter on near div. I am horribly disappointed. No, God, please, no. Why do they put all the good art on the bad cards? It's not actually true. They don't do that anymore. Where their market research said that this card deserved like amazing art. Too much grinding? Big grinding. Do I have short-term? Oh, I have short-term memory loss. I have long-term memory loss. I have memory loss leaking everywhere. You said the art was hot in the Discord. You know what, Toads? I gotta sometimes pretend I haven't seen cards for the stream. I gotta do it for the content. Okay, I remember the art. I did not remember the card. Absolute garbage. You can mill yourself with so much less work. With the +20/20 enchantment that taps it. Wait, you want to make this thing? Do we want to be casting preposterous proportions on this? And then when we tap it, we can mill cards equal to its power. That's a combo. That's a combo. They probably didn't see. No love for that combo. No, nobody. Okay, let's get 2 freebies in chat, and hopefully they don't overlap with some other people here. I can't already see a super chat. Pays his fan for it. Brian Bourne Cutthroat is a merfolk. Yeah, but that's an old one. It's a reprint. These are new cards. Rating the new cards from MTG Foundations. Let's see. Okay, who? For Ginka, Alicia, who laughs at fate, looks interesting. They got a new Alicia? Laughing at fate, you say. The 3-mana 2/2 human warrior, first strike. When Alicia attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. It's not a lot of creatures. Alicia not really leading the army, only leading themselves, but has raid. At the beginning of your end step, if you attack this turn, return target creature card with mana value less than or equal to Alicia's power from your graveyard to the battlefield. So over time, as you make Alicia bigger, Alicia's going to find more better, stronger creatures from the graveyard. I think it's a lot of work. You're going to have to buff up Alicia big time to get like a really good payoff immediately. By the way, why are your creatures dead? You led your army into a trap. An absolute trap. I am not super impressed with this card. It's got, you know what? If the game is really slow, it's going to be okay. I think if the game is really fast, it is just going to be a little too slow around here. Next up, 9 Lives Familiar. Is this real? 9 Lives Familiar. Is this a meme card? They print a meme card? We have a 3-mana 1/1 cat. Ooh, I got a sound. This creature enters with 8 revival counters on it if you cast it. When this creature dies, if it had a revival counter on it, return it to the battlefield with 1 fewer revival counters on it at the beginning of the next end step. I cannot see how this card is any good. Except, I guess, what? It's like a super sack outlet. Look at those eyes. Those eyes. Coffee Crew. It's coming to look into my soul over there. This cat knows that we're going to make it sacrifice itself. Don't you dare do that. I know what you're thinking. It's dirty, evil stuff, isn't it? How many times am I going to go? Well, at least 8. Yeah, pure evil. Pure evil meets pure evil. Looks like Chubby Meatball. It's close. Chubby Meatball is more gray. This cat's a little bit more black. 3 mana, yeah, 3 mana 1/1 that needs to die 9 times. Yeah, you're born to die. Sorry about that, 9 Lives Familiar. Okay, it's interesting though. So I can't evaluate this card. It might actually be good. It might be good. It's a unique effect. It's like a super unique ability. Haven't you always wanted to have a creature that had persist like 9 times? Well, this is it. This is exactly it. Everyone's trying so hard to build their deck around creatures that come back to the battlefield. All you need is 9 lives, and you have 9 sacrifice value. Maybe if you had some sort of external ETB trigger off of it, well, that's you got to build around it, Ellie. We're gonna have cards on the battlefield that says whenever a creature enters the battlefield, we get bonus. We want them bonuses around here. Okay, 9 lives is absolutely sick. Super Zybers. All right, we heard the music. We're going to take a look at more cards that are coming from MTG Foundations, where we got to thank our sponsor, FusionGamingOnline.com. They're back, and they're selling you Duskmourn, but most importantly, they are selling you Magic the Gathering Foundations, or any of these new cards coming from this set interest you to upgrade your Commander, Modern Pioneer, or Standard decks. Maybe you want to pre-order them at FusionGamingOnline.com. You know why? Because it would support the channel. It would support me, that's for sure. And also support yourself. Get yourself 5% off all your orders at checkout by using coupon code Nikachu at checkout. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards online. Why would you want to rent Magic cards online? That sounds insane. Aren't you supposed to buy them? Well, here's the thing. When you're online, maybe you want to rent them. So you're not locked in onto those digital cards. It's cheaper if you want to play many decks at once. It's a ban list saver. If your cards get banned, just send your deck back and get a new one. And you can play as many decks as you want. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save get 40% cash back on your 3rd month subscription when you use coupon code Nikachu_4VU. And now back to MTG Foundations. The Foundation to the new era of Magic the Gathering. Okay, next up, we have super chat from Pabno. Cure the Rising Tide. Ooh, that's an interesting one. Closest to good merfolk? Maybe. So, yeah, I'm familiar with this one. The 3 mana 3/2, which is not great, not bad. Enters the battlefield, draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards. Very interesting ability. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of cards. I'm like, these cards are useless in this matchup. As someone who plays Merfolk competitively, sometimes Ether Vial late in the game is dead. Dismember against some combo deck or some control deck is useless. I want to exchange those cards for fresh cards. I don't have that option. Cure the Rising Tide lets me do that. Or sometimes like Force Negation is like no good. So drawing cards, discarding cards, good. Bowmasters would still kill this though. I draw 2 cards. Bowmasters triggers twice, and then all of a sudden, Cura dies. It does have Threshold, which is not easy to get to, but might be more relevant in the matchups where it's grindy. When Cura attacks, if there are 7 or more cards in your graveyard, I create Scion of the Deep, a legendary 8/8 blue octopus creature token. Oh, we've gone from the Krakens to the octopuses. So anyway, Threshold, I'll tell you what, I think Threshold is incredibly likely to get to if I'm up against a deck that basically kills all my creatures. So they just go pa-choo, 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 sniping off my fish, shooting fish like they're in a barrel. Because it's not too hard to fill your graveyard, honestly, to 5. It's not that difficult at all. And then after Cura, I'll have Threshold. I'll have 7 cards in my graveyard. And then we start making 8/8 creatures. But, like, I have to hope my opponent runs out of removal. I don't know if it's worth the work. It might be busted. You know what? Honestly, I don't know about this card. Was it Octopi? Some people know the plural, the how to say multiple octopus. Her 3/7/7 art is hot. Oh, she has an alternate art. Oh, yeah, this is great. She's the captain of a ship. Does she need a captain? Doesn't she, like, just ride on sea creatures all over the place? Anyway, yeah, I don't know if this card's good. It is definitely good in Commander. Is it good in competitive play? I have no idea. Could be great, could be garbage. Will I playtest it? I'd rather not, to be honest. Oh, wait a minute, I could play this in Standard. Is this any good in Standard? Maybe this is exactly what I need. This is exactly what I needed in my deck. Okay, Cure the Rising Tide. I'm going to try it out in Standard. Octopuses and octopodes are correct. Octopi is wrong. Octopi sounds right, though. I like Octopi. Okay, Summer Mermaid Star with Plagon. Lord of the Beach. Is this real? 3 mana for a 0/3 Starfish Wizard. Okay, pretty cool. Whenever a Plagon Lord of the Beach enters, draw a card for each creature you control with toughness greater than its power. Oh, this is for the crab decks. All right, crab players. Crabs, walls, your time has come. You got your lord. The Lord of the Beach. Okay, when it enters, draw a card. Yeah, but okay, as the activated ability of Azorius, target creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power this turn. No more lurking in the shadows. We ride. For everyone that likes... what's that tree called? Yeah, the Big Butts card. I like big butts and I cannot lie. Draw cards until I die. Weird art, though. You know, we're moving in this direction. It's more Pokemon-like, to be honest. You know? Which I honestly don't have a problem with if we go in this direction. It's totally fine. This is an acid dream. I didn't know you would know anything about that, Toads. That came out of nowhere, Toads. Toads reminiscing about his acid days. His days on acid. Probably in college. Yeah, Doran the Beach Tower. Yeah, there we go. That's that's what I was thinking of. The trees. Doran. Yeah, you see that 013 crab card? No, I haven't seen the 013 crab, unless you can tell us what it is. Okay, next up, let's take a look at Pacer Fan Forever's Revenge of the Rats. By the way, I have to rate this card. I think the card is okay. I think the card is okay. I don't think this is gonna see any competitive play, but you know, people are gonna play that card. Now we have a 4-mana sorcery. Create a tapped 1/1 black rat creature token for each creature card in your graveyard. I don't like cards like that. And then flashback for 4 mana. I really don't like cards like this. Basically, you need to be losing for this card to be good. And then if you have nothing going, if you didn't get any creatures or barely got any creatures, this card sucks. It's on par with those types of cards that are like, you know, take 2 cards from your graveyard and put them back into your hand or something like that, or even reanimate them back onto the battlefield. I don't think they're that good. They're only good in contingent, assuming everything is dying already. And honestly, a 1/1 black rat for each dead creature that you had, I don't think compensates for very much, to be honest. So I'm gonna say this is a dud. Limited bomb, probably. Yeah, I don't judge things based on limited. Oh yeah, it's a pack one, first one pick. You gotta snap that up immediately. I'm not even qualified to say anything. I've sometimes gone 1-2 in limited. That's the extent of my limited powers with self-mill. If you're self-milling, I think you have better things to do with this card, even at 4 mana. Toad's like, I'm just an old hippie. Just a combo piece for graveyard rats. What, self-mill with like relentless rats and then revenge of the rats? All right, look. I'll believe it when I see it, okay? I'm gonna believe it when I see it. Toad the Duck with Brigon, Soldier of Melites. Wow, these arts are absolute bangers. This is a 2-mana 2/2 human soldier. Sneaking in more anime waifu art into this game. Some sort of white dragon in this thing? I can't tell. Human soldier, vigilance, heroic. Oh god. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Brigon, soldier of Melites, put a +1/+1 counter on Brigon. Tap, remove a +1/+1 counter from Brigon, draw a card. Does have vigilance. This could actually be really strong. Not gonna lie. There's a lot of cards out there that, you know, target your creatures, buff them up, and I think this is a reasonable ability. You target it, you pump it up, you attack, and then you can, at the end of your opponent's turn, just tap, remove a counter, and then draw a card. You just cash in on this thing. I think actually this card has a lot of potential. Mono white card draw? Could it be? It's unbelievable. Where are they taking this color pie? Wizards, you're crazy. You're crazy. Do you realize what you've done? Maybe this card was originally blue. Or maybe it was red. Is this an accident? Was this a mistake? Yeah, it's pretty clear card draw. Man, now mind you, you got to fill your deck with a bunch of trash. But the payoff is definitely good. Ellie was like, so many of these cards look like proxies. Yeah. Yeah, it's where's Winter Fox? Where's there's so many Coffee Crew members that they just make custom cards of just waifu cards. Yeah, so it does look like a custom card. The custom card community, they like to lean to the anime art, that's for sure. Particularly anime waifu art. That's a certain. Papa P, not a fan of anime art at all. Well, you're in the wrong world, I would say. Wrong community. Huge overlap between TCGs and anime art. Or animes in general. DJ says, as a previous Yu-Gi-Oh player, Magic is now Yu-Gi-Oh! Get over it. All right. Oh yeah, Pedgeman, also huge with waifu vampires. What are you going to do if it turns all waifu art? You're going to leave the game? No, you're going to stay with the game. They'll make secret layers for you. Secret layers that are not waifu art. What a weird way to monetize the game. Okay, next up, Lord Trevor with Scrawling Crawler. What is this? Scrawling Crawler. It's is a 1-card combo piece. So you say. 3 mana for a 3/2 Phyrexian construct. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player draws a card. Whenever an opponent draws a card, that player loses 1 life. In some sense, it is a 1-card combo. What if you make everyone pass the turn for a very long time? Or I guess I get it. You can like combo with this with Wheel of Fortune, Windfall, Time Twister, and etc. etc. So you just force people to draw cards with this card. But that's not like, that's not a 1-card combo. It's a multi-card combo. Well, if you can pass the turn, if you can infinitely give yourself Teferi's Protection, maybe this will work. Or maybe not. No, Teferi's Protection would exile this. More like Howling Crawler. Am I right, guys? Okay, Scrawling Crawler's alt art is the most sci-fi thing I've ever seen in MTG. Well, they have a lot of alt art around here. Oh, it looks like a mirror, in my opinion. Or like a scrap trawler or something like that. Isn't it a scrap trawler? Yeah, it looks like these things. It's probably from, it's the same thing. Is this is a construct? This is a Phyrexian construct. It's all the same stuff. Okay, next up, let's go to, okay, is this card good? I think it, honestly, I think it's going to be fun, but I think objectively it's garbage. That's my take. Objectively, I think this is a trash card, but people are going to play it because it's fun. Gaming Bakyonawa with Sinet Jelly Drover. Jelly Drover. What's Jelly doing? Jellyfish and flying matters in my mono blue. Okay. Sinet Jelly Drover is a 4-mana 2/2 human wizard. Careful with those jellyfish. They'll sting you! R.I.P. Oh, who's the guy with the animals? The Australian with the animals. Died of a stingray or something. I can't remember if this... no, it was a stingray, not a jellyfish. Steve Irwin. Whatever. They sting you, all right? Do not underestimate these things. Yeah, it was a stingray. I got it. I corrected myself. Just in time. Okay, when Sinet Jelly Drover enters or dies, create a 1/1 blue jellyfish creature token with flying. Creatures you control with flying get +1/+1. So it's a lord for flyers. Interesting. Competitive play, no. Casual play, huge buff. Actually, really good. And also, you get value no matter what. Enters the battlefield, you get... It's basically 4 mana, you get a 2/2... Does the jellyfish fly? Jellyfish... Yeah, you get as a flying jellyfish. What the hell? What is this? What is this, Super Mario World or something? I guess... Yeah, like, there are moments in Super Mario World where there's flying bloopers on the screen, alright? They're not always underwater. What is this, anime art? There's a lot of anime art everywhere. We're going anime, people. She's cute. Must protect. You must protect. Protect Sinet at all costs. So I think in casual play, this is a banger. Because if you have like a Flying Matters deck, then it will be very good. Okay, who has no card yet? Yeah, what is a drover? Someone who drives, I suppose. Did anyone have any other card? Do people just give up here? Low-key thought this was a custom card stream. This is the second comment we've gotten that it looks and feels like a custom card stream thanks to all the anime art. Read the flavor text. All right. Once you build up an immunity to their deadly venom, they're really quite cuddly. All right. That's the key. You know, all you have to do is get stung by a jellyfish often enough and it doesn't even bother you anymore. Your blood is just poisoned with venom. Okay, Christopher B is still actually doing stuff here. Okay, Dropkick Bomber. Is it just me, or does Sinette look like a Pedgeman card, whoever made it? Well, that card, there's no vampire there, so I'm going to say no. 3 mana for a 2/3 Goblin Warrior. Other goblins you control get +1/+1. And for a red, until end of turn, another target goblin you control gains flying, and when this creature deals combat damage, sacrifice it. I honestly don't think that's very good. So a lot of goblins, they get trampled, they have first strike, they have menace, they have haste. There are a few lords out there. I don't think lords are what they're really looking for, and especially paying mana and then like losing them. I understand like if it deals damage, maybe if you flung them or something, but it's just you get flying, and then you're dead. That's it. The flavor text is basically get good. I always enjoyed kicking stuff, so this was an ideal career opportunity. I don't know how the Goblin players feel about this card, but I'm going to say that this is quite the miss, in my opinion. Okay, next we've got... Good God. We have so many super chats from Pacers Fan Forever. And the first one is going to be... eliminated. Pacers Fan Forever. Brineborn Cutthroat is a merfolk. Brineborn Cutthroat is in the set, but it is not a new card. It is an old card. Let's give one to Ryan Harris. Sire of 7 Deaths. Has it been done? Nope. Oh, this card. You know, I thought this looked like... I didn't even get many likes on Twitter when I posted this. I thought it looked like the War of the Worlds tripod thingamabobbers. Where's a good picture? I'm gonna get a good picture for all of you. Because the art, okay, this art, I think it looks. So we got this Sire of 7 Deaths, and then here's that tripod from War of the Worlds. Is it not the same damn thing? It's the same damn thing, in my opinion. I think they look the same. I think they look the same. The Eldrazi are from Mars. Okay, 7 mana, 7/7 Eldrazi. We got first strike, we got vigilance, we got menace, we got trample, reach, lifelink, and also ward pay 7 life. Yeah, that's right. You're gonna have no more life left when we're done here. Totally see it. Nah, don't see it. Some people see it, some people don't. That's okay. 7 people on Twitter also saw it. That tweet did not go viral at all. Only difference is that this Sire thing doesn't have weakness to bacteria. That's right. It is the bacteria. It's the bacteria to us. These real cards look custom cards more and more day by day. Probably because, do you know what? They probably have got the AI generation at Wizards just taking the entire card pool from the custom card Reddit and then spitting out cards. Yeah, this totally looks like an AI or like an AI card or a custom card. Let's just throw all the abilities on it. Yeah, that's right. Everything I could possibly hope for, and low cost of 7 mana. Very, very cheap. On sale now. It's not even impossible to get to. You got Urza's Tower, Urza's Mine, Urza's Power Plant. Boom. You can have this thing out on turn 3. And it's going to really... You're going to have to spend a removal spell. You're going to have to also spend like a third of your life trying to get rid of this thing. All it's missing is it's still land. Yeah, well, yeah. Well, that's from the AI card pool. If we're talking about the custom card pool, they don't make that mistake. See, that's a tell. That's a way we can tell cards are still AI. It's still land. Oh my god, it's AI. They keep on doing broken Eldrazi things. Well, you know, the Eldrazi are broken. Why does it have lifelink? I don't get that. Anyway, it's a good card. It's definitely a very strong card. Nikachu got that fresh Just for Men's hair dye job. Well, first off, it's not fresh. I did it a week ago, and I don't have Just for Men's. It's some other brand. But I would say it is just for it's for men like me, that's for sure. Niv Mizzet Visionary from David Sampson. Niv Mizzet. They have another Niv Mizzet, huh? Do they have a special art? They have a special art for it too. Anime Niv Mizzet. 6 mana for a 5/5 Dragon Wizard flying. You have no maximum hand size. That's right. Why even have a rule that we have a maximum hand size? They have so many cards these days that say screw it. You can have whatever the hell you want. To draw 20 cards. Don't discard ever. Whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, you may draw that many cards. So basically, Lightning Bolt is Ancestral Recall. What the hell are they doing to this game? That's insane! That's absolutely insane. And you deal damage. I bolt you for 3. I'll draw 3. Thank you very much. I'm up for suggestions. I don't dig just for men. I don't know what brand I have. I got something. But you have to use it once. You have to use it pretty often. Yeah, basically, yeah, this is exactly what it is. It's an Ancestral Bolt. Oh, did you get sniped? Well, you gotta give me another suggestion. Okay, when we hit the last quarter, we are in the last quarter. Okay, maybe I should just chain through all these super chats. Because otherwise, we're probably gonna start sniping each other like crazy. Niv Mizzet, master of F it, we draw. We draw as much stuff as we possibly can. Yeah, I think this card is absolutely bonkers insane. It's complete. I'm not going to say it's completely broken, but you can, as long as you have some mana up, you can definitely get a lot of value out of this. And it could be your commander. I have a feeling, not that I have a feeling, I'm pretty sure that this is not going to see like regular competitive play. It's still a 6 mana 5/5 dragon, which is like a little bit too much, but in commander it looks insane, especially with ramp. Get this thing out and start drawing cards like nuts. Is it didn't need this? Is it might disagree with you. With the Landfall Lizard, it's nuts. Infinite with some of the other interactions. I mean, the other combos. With other Niv Mizzets. You can have 20 Niv Mizzets on the battlefield. Okay, let's go through some of these super chats. We got Paces Fan Forever with the Right of the Dragon Caller. We got a 6-mana enchantment. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying. I don't really have a whole lot to say about this. I think it's a stinker. Enters the battlefield, does nothing. Pass the turn. Next turn, then you have to start casting cards. People are just going to wail on you like crazy. It totally looks like a commander card. I mean, are there any like 0 mana cards that you could use to take advantage of this? Probably not. This, like, I'm not gonna doubt it that this card will probably get out of hand if you're allowed to untap with this enchantment. But outside of that, I think it's quite tame and fair. This is more of a big Timmy go. Yeah, Timmy card. Exactly. Let's go. Super big Timmy card. Someday there will just be a full Niv Mizzet commander deck. Yeah, Niv Mizzet Kindred. Well, I wonder what card type is the closest to having a full deck of just this one card, like Jace the Mind Sculptor or something, or Heliod. I have no idea. I'm curious. What's the one card you can fill your entire deck with? Not Relentless Rats, like, you know, not cheating like that. Add 5 damage to this when it comes into play, and it would be a decent draft uncommon. Well, I'm still good. Like, I'd play this in draft if I could. Good night for Ginka. Good morning to everyone else watching the show. Okay, I think I don't like it. Not a huge fan. Okay, next up we've got Niv Mizzet Visionary. Yeah, you got sniped. Sorry about that, Lil MX Doom. You got another one, Lil MX Doom? I'll keep an eye out for you, Lil MX Doom. You get oh, you do have another one. You got Takeo. The Patient Avalanche. They did fill this setup with a bunch of new stuff. It's a 4-mana, 4/5 Turtle Ninja. Let's take a look at that. Let's investigate this art. Is there any similarities to other turtle ninjas that we know about? Any Easter eggs that we can perhaps gauge from this? Who is this? Is this Shredder? Is that Shredder? It might or might not. It's got no. There's Shredder's armor on the turtle ninja for some reason. There's some Easter eggs here. What else can we derive from this image? That's totally Shredder's armor. If anyone knows anything about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, look at his face. Oh yeah, we've got the bandana, of course. Who owns Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? They should be suing wizards like crazy right now. Yeah, wearing the mask too. A little indiscriminate though. We don't no color on that mask. Here's a sword. Could be Leonardo. This turtle is very lizard-like. Look at this big tail. Gigantic tail. Is there anything else we can derive from this image? Well, I think we saw enough, to be honest. Yeah, it looks blue. Copyright? Copyright. Free, damn it. The art is just whack. Well, anyway, okay, now what does this card do? 4 mana, 4/5. Teiko, the Patient Avalanche, enters tapped. Whenever another creature you control leaves the battlefield, if it didn't die, scry 1 and put a +1/+1 counter on Teiko. Whenever Teiko attacks, you may pay Demir. When you do, target attacking creature can't be blocked this turn. Now, first off, this is a pretty damn big creature for just 4 mana. We got 4 mana, 4/5 going on over here. Oh, but does enter the battlefield tapped. Well, that's lame. Whenever another creature you control leaves the battlefield, if it didn't die, scry 1 and put up. So we have what? Bounce our own creatures back to our hands? It's getting worse and worse the more I'm reading it. Maybe they're coming up with ideas for future secret lairs. It's possible. Looks like Slash, kind of a bad guy snapping turtle that joins the Ninja Turtles later on. Okay, hold on. I'm going to investigate. Ninja Turtles Slash. You might have something going on over here. Okay, behold Slash. Here's Slash. I didn't remember Slash. I thought I saw every cartoon. Maybe I didn't. Got to refresh my... I gotta go watch the Ninja Turtles. I gotta binge watch that stuff. Slash is the enemy blue turtle ninjas from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Hack and Slash. No, I'm thinking of Toka and Razor from the movies. The original Slash. Goofy ass Ninja Turtle. Oh, that you're suggesting a card here, Toilet Duck. We'll get to it. We'll get to it in a sec. Okay, anyway, this card, I gotta make an executive decision. I don't think this card's good. In fact, I think it's just downright terrible. It's basically, okay, if you bounce your own stuff back to your hand, or I guess you exile it, you get to scry 1 and put a +1/+1 counter on it. That's not very powerful. That's terrible. Absolute garbage. Okay, Toilet Duck says, Evereth, Viceroy of Plunder. Does that look like a Pegman card to you? I think it does. This is very Pegman-like, especially since it's anime and it's waifu at the same time. Okay, this is a 3 mana 2/2 vampire soldier with flying. Sacrifice another creature or artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on Evereth, Viceroy of Plunder. If the sacrifice permanent was a treasure, Evereth gains flying until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. When Evereth dies, you may pay 2 mana. When you do, Evereth deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. Ooh, interesting. So the idea is buff her up, then sack her. I don't know about sacrifice her, but if she dies, it's all on you. You're all gonna get blown up around here. It's $75. That's crazy. Want to see the price? Well, let me get myself out of the way over here. $75. Well, something's wrong here. It's like $8. It's $8 in euros and 75 USD. Some sort of typo over here. There must be some sort of mistake. Must be a sort of mistake here. If she dies, you take mental damage, emotional damage. Only the last ability barely matters for combo. The rest is trash. Really, honestly, I don't have any opinion about this card. It just looks like a card to me. Okay, I have too many super chats. We have to get through all of them. We're beyond like the hour mark. Okay, Little MX Doom with Nazar. The Velvet Fang is my new commander brew. The Velvet Fang, a 4-mana 3/3 vampire warlock, has menace. When you gain life, put a feeding counter on Nazar, the Velvet Fang. When Nazar attacks, you may remove the 3 feeding counters from it. If you do, draw 3 cards and you lose 3 life. So you gain life. You only get 1 feeding counter, so you have to gain life 3 separate times. I think this is jank. I think it's gonna die before you get to the 3rd feeding counter. I mean, man, maybe I'm wrong. Like, what, in a black... You want this to be your commander? Because I could understand with Soul Sister-like cards, maybe you can get, like, you know, creature enters the battlefield, you gain a life, and you once, you know, every single time somebody plays something, it's going to trigger this, and it's really hard to stop. Wait, does the feeding mean feeding off you and paying you in card draw? Greatness at any costs around here. Okay, anyway, so I gotta make an executive decision. Maybe this is good. You absolutely need to pair this with some sort of really cheap form of life gain, but I think it can work. Okay, Steve Cooper, the Banner of Kinship, and a dono. Oops, it's kinship, not kindship. 5-mana artifact. As this artifact enters, choose a creature type. This artifact enters with a fellowship counter on it for each creature you control of the chosen type. Creatures you control of the chosen type get +1/+1 for each fellowship counter on this artifact. This sounds awful. I don't like it.
No, God, please, no.
I think, yeah, I'm not a fan of these sort of metallic mimic effects, especially since we need to commit a lot of stuff on the board first. Step 1, put a bunch of creatures on the battlefield of the creature type that we have. Step 2, play Banner of Kinship. Well, how does that help the creatures that are already there? Oh, wait a minute, it does. Creatures you control of the chosen type. Gets a fellowship counter on it for each creature you control of the chosen type. Get. Oh, it does actually immediately buff them up. Oh, I thought it was one of those types of cards where when you cast the creature, it's going to enter the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter for each creature, or it's like whatever the number is on this card. You choose a creature type and enters with a fellowship counter. But it's this card itself that enters with the fellowship counter. Okay, so maybe it's a lot better than I thought it was. Seems good for the... Yeah, that's what I'm thinking right now. It probably works for the token decks. Good in zombie, probably. Good in anything that makes a lot of tokens. Makes a lot of creatures, especially if they don't die. Okay. Looks good. Banner of Kinship. Now, 1 donation we'll give to Kano. Have we done Quilled Great Worm? We have now. 6 mana for a 7/7 worm. It's got trample. Also has a special art. Whenever a... Oh, look, pine trees. This is a pine tree? You can't tell. I think it's a pine tree. It must be Canada. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage... whenever a creature you control deals combat damage during your turn... I assume that's when it would happen. Put that many +1/+1 counters on it. You may cast this card from your graveyard... by removing 6 counters from among creatures you control in addition to paying its other costs. What do you mean we have to pay 6 mana too? Oh, that doesn't sound very good. 6 mana, but it's still a 6 mana 7/7 trampler. Deal damage, put that many +1/+1 counters on it. And it's whenever any creature deals you control deals combat damage during your turn, put that many +1/+1 counters on it. All right, I think in competitively this is not going to see play. I think in Commander this is going to see a lot of play. It's going to be a good one. This is the third time I got sniped with my super chats. You spew out a lot. Well, I mean, you give a lot of super chats. This is the danger of too many super chats. Sorry about that, Pacers fan forever. Now, speaking of Pacers fan forever and super chats, let's take a look at one of them. The Spinner of Souls. Three mana, 4/3. Oh my goodness, a 4/3 Spider Spirit. Reach. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you may reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put that card into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. What? Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, including this one, right? You may reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. This is insane! This card isn't. I mean, it's just pure value. Not to mention, it's like it's decent. It's a 3 mana 4/3. I guess the only real problem with this is if someone's gonna try to kill something, they're probably gonna try to kill the Spinner of Souls first. So you kill Spinner of Souls, and then you take a little bit of a gamble on what you're gonna draw, but then that's it. Like you don't get the ability for any of your other future creatures. That's for sure. Okay, next super chat. Dr. Neva says, would love your opinion on Sire of 7 Deaths. Did we not look at that one? 7 Deaths. Oh, we looked at that one, Dr. Nemo. Sorry about that. We're going to have to give that one... Well, either Dr. Nemo has a replacement card, or we're going to have to give it to somebody in chat here. It's basically Colossal Dreadmaw, but worse with the last ones. Not the last one. Quilled Great Worm. But better. Okay, Dr. Nemo has a replacement. Coma. World Eater. Is that like taking from Pacer? If Pacer also has Sire of 7 Deaths. What the hell? Super. And by the way, Pacer, you got your super chat in after Dr. Nemo, so technically you sniped Dr. Nemo. Coma, World Eater, 7 mana for an 8/12 Serpent, can't be countered. Trample and Ward 4. Oh, now this card is very custom custom. It's a very custom card. Like you can't counter my card. If you try to kill it, no. All it's missing is indestructible. Whenever Coma deals combat damage to a player, create 4 3/3 blue serpent creature tokens named Coma's Coil. The only thing this is really missing is Flash, is where it really needs it. New commander for you, Benedict. This card is a Timmy's dream. Yeah, it's got Timmy written all over the damn thing. It does have trample though. It's pretty big also for its stats. An 8/12 back in the day, that would have been 12 mana. And you'd have had to have sacrificed 2 lands just to untap it. And it would have entered tapped. I'm just trying to think like how big these big stats would have translated to a card in beta or whatever. We should maybe have a show like that. Like taking new cards and then making them like, I don't know, garbage. What new cards today would look like 30 years ago. Yeah, and cumulative upkeep. It'd have cumulative upkeep as well. Flavor text matters. The gods imprisoned Coma, fearing he would eventually devour the cosmos itself. Oh, I didn't know Coma was a he. I always figure when they do really big banger stuff, it's always a she. In the year 2030, this stat line would be normal for 3 costs, probably. Yeah, for 3 mana creatures. We're almost there. Okay, I do believe this is casual jank though. Very casual, very jank. Yeah, sacrifice 5 lands. When Coma deals combat damage to a player, sacrifice 5 lands. Create 5 3/3 blue serpent creature tokens named Coma's Coil. That sounds funny. All right, Pacer, you sniped someone else who was sniping. Oops, this is the wrong sound effect. So we're gonna donate one of these. Toilet Duck with Aphelia. I need to add more music to the mix. We need more music. We want something upbeat right now. How about this? This sounds great. Okay, Ophelia, Viper Whisperer. 2 mana, 1/3 Gorgon Assassin with Death Touch. All right, we got an immediate brick wall. When it attacks, you may pay 2 mana. If you do, create a 1/1 black snake creature token also with Death Touch. For 5 mana until end of turn, whenever one or more Gorgons and or snakes you control deal combat damage to a player, that player loses half their life rounded up. Interesting. This is hard to evaluate. It's like a decent blocker, not very good on the attack. I mean, you can just block and just trade with it. But until end of turn, whenever one or more. Okay, so it doesn't stack. Losing half your life is not something to be underestimated. Double Death Touch. Very broken. Where are the snakes or the snacks in her hair? I think they are snacks. They are anime snacks. That's what's going on over here. I'm gonna just assume this is like pretty medium. It's probably a very good commander card again because A, you have Death Touch, so like no one wants to mess with her. And then you'll clearly have at least one opponent to freely attack on the earlier turns of the game to make at least one more black snake creature token with Death Touch. So like even less reason for people to attack into you. Even less than before. Next up, we've got... let's get a Pacers fan forever with the Quilled Great Worm. Oh crap, we looked at this one. It's a pretty crappy day if you're named Pacers fan forever. I didn't notice the 1 at the end of your name. Has it always been like that, or is that a new account? Okay, we'll go to the next one. Oh god, did we do this one? I think we did this one too. Visionary. The Niv Mizzet Visionary. A lot of visionaries out there. You have no maximum hand size. Oh god, that one no good either. Okay, how about this one? Crystal Barricade. We didn't do that. Crystal Barricade. All right, we found one. We found one that hasn't been done. Okay, we have a 2 mana 0/4 wall. It's got Defender, and you have Hexproof. Prevent all non-combat damage that be dealt to other creatures you control. This is actually a lot of utility for 2 mana. And then if you give Crystal Barricade Hexproof, I mean, that's basically an indestructible combo. That's really, really good. Prevent all non-combat damage that be dealt to other creatures you control. And then hopefully you can block stuff like crazy. The wall's going in your cube. Now, it doesn't have... Now, so I think for Commander, Cube, Draft, this card is really good. One-on-one competitive play, probably not good. Like, maybe it's good. Like, against a burn deck, I could see this being pretty good. You can block creatures. They can't shoot you anymore because you have Hexproof after all. And this would have to at least absorb 2 burn spells. So maybe it has some... room to grow in competitive one-on-one. Okay, Pacer Fan Forever wants some of those cards exchanged for Bloodthirsty Conqueror. Didn't we look at this one as well? We looked at this one, Pacers Fan Forever. We did it early. Homestead is not a card, Benjamin Berkeley. Are you secretly like an extra account of Jasper Rabs? That's not... I would not have seen that one. I would not have seen that coming. Okay, I'm going to move on to more super chats like Pabno. Thank you very much, Pabno. Quick Strider Ceratops. Sorry, Quake Strider Ceratops. Just out of curiosity, how does everyone like the show at this time of the day? Should I be doing more evening streams? Wizard of the Coast is laughing at us. Okay, what is... we got 6 mana. Oh, it's just a 12/8. It's a very interesting 12/8, shouldn't we say? This is very, very interesting. Maybe one of the largest vanilla creatures in the entire game. You know what, Quake Strider or Ceratops, you're a very simple creature, but you're very big. I wonder when they're gonna like break the limit of how big a vanilla creature can be. Like, when do we get to like 50-50 territory? And how much mana does that cost? It's a double craw worm. Yeah, look how much we've broke. Look at the power creep of the game. Strictly better Magic the Gathering cards. Quake, Strider, Ceratops. Fred says it's 3:20 a.m. for me, staying up to get an assignment done. I've been there, Fred. I've been there. Thank God I have no more assignments anymore. Why not do like a late show once a week? Maybe. Maybe I could do it twice a week. All right, Pacer Fan Forever. You replace any of your other cards yet? How about new Chandra? That doesn't help me. Because there's a million Chandra. Look, I put in... There's 38 Chandras, Pacer Fan Forever. We need more... It needs to be more specific. But I'll get to it. Okay, another. We got Little MX Doom with Anthem of Champions. Not the Anthem for Losers. This is a white-green enchantment. Creatures you control get +1/+1. This is awful. This is awful. I have nothing to say about this card. I guess it's like, what, for token decks? Don't we have better stuff, though? I mean, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe we don't have better stuff. I think it's underwhelming. I think it's very, very underwhelming. Needs a little band. Yeah, +1/+1 in banding. Now we're talking. Now we're speaking my speed around here. Oh, Yolchen says it's Chandra Flame Shaper is the new one. Chandra Flame Shaper. All right, this is Pacer Fans Forever's sniped super chat replacement. 7 mana for a 6 loyalty Chandra. +2, add triple red. Exile the top 3 cards of your library. Choose one. You may play that card this turn. +1, create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, except it has haste, and at the beginning of the end step, sacrifice this token. -4, Chandra deals 8 damage. Divide as you choose among any number of target creatures and or planeswalkers. I think that's terrible. The ultimate is incredibly underwhelming. Super poor. Although you can use it immediately. Actually, I didn't notice that about the ultimate. You don't have to even work to it. So it's just 7 mana and deal 8 to whatever you want. The +2 is good, but this is just a lot of mana. Yeah, we definitely could make Chandra Kindred at this point. Yeah, there's 38 Chandra Planeswalkers. You definitely could have just a Chandra Commander deck. It's got a little bit of support spells. You have your like 35 lands. Easily make it work. Create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, except it has haste. I don't have any creatures in this deck. Only Chandras. This is only Chandra's club. Only Chandra's allowed. At the beginning of the end step, sacrifice this token. Honestly, the abilities are really strong. I just don't know how good this 7 mana is. 7 mana is a lot of mana. Yeah, 7 mana is a lot. I don't know. I'll tell you what. We need to use the other Chandras to help cast this Chandra. I'm optimistic about this card, especially since you also, for 7 mana, you get to ramp. You get 3 red when you go +2, and it goes to 8 loyalty. I'm going to be a little optimistic about this Chandra. I think it could end up being really good. Okay, we got Steve Cooper with Rev, Tithe Extractor, and a Dono. Dono to who? Find out in a second. But first, let's look at Rev, Tithe Extractor. Another waifu card. Board waifu. Board waifus in your area. Looking for you. 4 mana, 3/3 human rogue. Whenever you attack, target creature gains death touch until end of turn. Okay. Better in pairs. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, create a treasure token, then look at the top card of that player's library and exile it face down. You may cast that card for as long as it remains exiled. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage, you get a treasure. The top card, you can cast it. I think this is honestly just a little too much work. Quite honestly. I get the idea, like, you can give a creature death touch and then, or you can you can give herself Death Touch, and then ideally they don't block her. But you know what? They can end up blocking her. Yeah, this is such 2006 level power level. True story. It's the Jumpstart set. Tons of waifus. All right, we have a donation. And the donation shall go to... Let's go another one to Toads. Toads always says he's invisible. Not today. Thurid, Mayor of Destiny. Oh, it's a Pegasus. Well, it's not a horse. It's always strange. There's a lot of horses in this game that are not horses. And they could use more horses in this game. Okay, 4 mana, 2/4 Pegasus, flying lifelink. Whenever you cast a Pegasus, unicorn or horse creature spell, copy it. Okay, the copy becomes a token. Other Pegasi, unicorns, and horses you control get +1/+1. Here's the only problem. Most unicorns, Pegasus, and horse suck in this game. There are very few cards. So I'll give it this. This card is an absolute banger. This is a very strong card, but the support cards that you'd build around this is just awful. And for passive lives, like not amount, complete flavor fail. What about the shapeshifters? Oh, totally forgot about the shapeshifters. You could be onto something over there. You could be onto something. Anyone else think Thurid might be reskinned to Princess Celestia one day? It's possible. Okay, Steve Cooper with another super chat. Sylvan Scavenging. You saved the best for last. Oh, okay, we got a raccoon in the art. It's a 3-mana enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, choose one. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control, or create a 3/3 green raccoon creature token if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. I know what Steve Cooper thinks. Steve Cooper is going to say that this is an absolute banger card. All right, everyone. Thank you very much. A lot of interesting new cards that came out of the new MTG Foundation set. And I'm curious to see how it's going to shake up Standard, to be honest, because I have to play it soon. All right, if you want to be part of the show, you got to be here. Usually 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Today was a different day because I was flying all day today, but I came home just in time for the show. And if you want to, thank you so much to everyone who supports the show. If you're a patron on Patreon, a member on YouTube, or you super chat to be part of the show, or even super chat so other people are part of the show. And of course, thanks to everyone who shows up. It's just spontaneously at night, about 130 of you. People like Toads, Benedict, Tony the Pokemon guy, Steve Cooper, Dr. Nemo, Benjamin Berkeley, David Sampson, Nightmare Incarnation, Ryan Harris, Ryan Harris and Eris, Mr. Fellblood, Kano, KenCon, Pabno, Christopher B, Dr. Nemo. We got David Sampson, Raznab, Demanger. Because you guys are the show. So as usual, my coffee crew, keep brewing up them coffees, and we're going to keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I'm going to see you at the next cup.